Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a couple of long weeks. I apologize for the delay in getting a podcast out to you guys. But a lot of stuff's been going on the last couple of weeks, and we'll get into it here in a second. But on the short end of it, I had a couple of friends come out and visit. So they were only here for a week, but that took up 2 weeks of podcast time. So I apologize for that. But let's get right into it. The Fia matches at Mauna Loa. The belt had been retained by Joe P. I know that I kind of sound like a broken record saying that because it seems like every week he has the belt, and he has had the belt. However, we had a tournament at Mid-Pac this past weekend, and so he had to give the belt up because he didn't think he was going to get to play Sunday. But I received word today that he actually ended up playing Sunday after playing the Mid-Pac Open, and he shot 71 to win the belt, edging out Kavika by 2 strokes. Kavika shot 73. So Joe P, again, retains the belt. He gave it up when he thought he wasn't going to make it and ended up winning it anyhow. So congrats to Joe P on his continuation of the Fia Championship. The Beach Boys, like I said, I had guests coming. They came in last week and last Monday, or a week ago Monday, and then they stayed until the following Monday. So I did not play golf with the Beach Boys the last 2 weeks. And we had the Mid-Pac Open, which I played Thursday morning. My tee time was 7:30 a.m., which was crazy. That meant I had to get up like at 4:30 in the morning to make it there about an hour before my tee time because I live Eva Beach and it's up in Kailua. So anyhow, my tee time was 7:30. I got there. I've been dealing with this hand issue. And I think I talked about it last time on the podcast, but I've been dealing with this hand issue. I thought it was my wrist, but it's more in the palm of my hand, like on the outside pad. And it also affects like my wrist when I bend it down a certain way. I get some pain. And I did it the second day of the state amateur tournament. I played the third day, which I was still able to play. It was still sore. And I've continued playing, which hasn't really probably helped it. And it got worse. So Thursday we were at the range and I was hitting balls, and it was a little tender, but it wasn't bad. I would still be able to play. So we played the first 2 holes, and the third hole is a par 5, and I hit my drive over in the left rough, and I went to hit my next shot with a hybrid, and when I hit the shot, it just immediately I had intense pain in my left hand. And it was so bad that I could not even grip the club. And, the tournament's not in a cheap tournament. It's $340 for an amateur to play in it. And you get a practice round with that on the Monday before the tournament. And you get to play 2 days. If you make the cut, you'll end up getting to play the weekend also 2 more days. So it's not a bad price if you get to play all 4 days or 5 days if you count the practice round. But if you don't and you get injured like I did on the third hole, it's kind of disheartening to know that you spent that kind of money and now you don't even get to play. So I tried toughing it out. I played one-handed. I finished the hole one-handed. I made par, unbelievably. I hit it up close and made the putt. And I tried to play the next, 5 holes with one hand. Now, because I just had that attitude that I paid $340, I might as well try to play one-handed and get my money out of it. Now, the only problem with that is when you haven't practiced playing one-handed, it's not that easy. And there were times that I was hitting the ball like 30 yards each time or 20 yards each time. And I didn't want to continue to do that to those guys that are trying to play and win, a championship. I don't want to do that to them. I don't want to put them through that and have to wait on me to do this and do that. And So after the ninth hole, I didn't even finish the ninth hole. I told those guys I was going to withdraw. So I had to withdraw from the tournament, which really, like I said, is disheartening because not only for the money reason, but, I was trying to win Senior Player of the Year this year, and that's going to put a big dent into it because you have to play almost all the tournaments and play decently in them in order to get enough points to win that award. So, the next tournament coming up is the U.S. Senior Open Championship qualifier. And now I don't think I'm even going to be able to play that. That's not until June. I think it's June or the end of May. And May 7th is the cutoff. And so I would have to register by May 7th. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to play. I could not even grip a club. The last few days, just today, my hand started feeling better enough that I could almost make a fist without any pain, but it's still sore. And so I talked to a friend of mine, a doctor, and she said it could be tendonitis in there, depending because of where it's at, or it could be an ulnar nerve issue, which is the nerve. It actually starts in your neck, but it runs down your arm and through your elbow and then up through your wrist on that side. And that's where my issue is, that pain on my wrist. So no golf for me for about a month coming up. I'm still going to give you the results of the FIA, and but there'll be no Beach Boys for at least a month. I'm going to take at least a month off to try to get this thing healed up. Like I said, I injured it the second day of the state amateur tournament, and I never really gave it time to heal up. I just kept playing, and it just got worse and worse. So I've got to take some time off and let it heal up. So we'll see what happens. As far as my guests that came and visited, some of you guys know or heard Pat Norton, the interview I did back in, I think it might have been like episode 3 or 5 or 6 or something like that. It was a 2-part episode because we talked so long. Him and his wife came out to visit for a week, which was awesome. I haven't seen Pat for a while, so it was nice getting to spend time with him. And I had never met his wife before, Rachel, and she is just a great person. She is awesome. I told him, she is perfect for you, Pat. You two are perfect together. And it's kind of funny because Pat and I would talk on the weekends on Zoom, and he would take the dogs out or do something, and I would hear that she was up, and I would say, "Hey, tell Rachel to come over and let me talk to her." And she didn't want to talk to me because she wanted to be surprised the first time she saw me. She didn't want to know what I looked like until she actually came here and saw what I looked like. So that was funny. And then after she saw me, I said, "So what's your take on, do I look like you thought I was going to look?" And she said, "Not really. I thought you were going to be bald." So I'm like, "No, I've got a full head of hair. I'm sorry, I'm not bald." But no, we had a great time. Pat and I did get to play. I took him to Hawaii, and we played with my buddy Vaughn, who's he works there. So we played on Tuesday, the second day after Pat arrived. They arrived Monday. We played the second day, and it was a good time. It was the greens have been aerated, which they weren't really that bad compared to some other courses that I played with aerated greens, but we had a good time. And he talked a lot of smack before about coming out here and beating me with my own clubs. He used a set of my clubs since he didn't want to bring his, and he talked a lot of smack about how he was going to beat me and all this stuff. So, but I promptly put a beat down on him. So sorry, Pat, if you're listening. So that was the only day we actually played. They spent a lot of time going to the beach. I took a couple days off. We did the Arizona Memorial. You got to do that if you come out to Hawaii. That is an awesome thing to do. And so other than that, we went out to eat, drank a lot. I'm glad they left. My liver needed a break, but No, it was an awesome time. They are welcome back here anytime to come. And I hope that I can get both of them on the podcast here in the next couple of weeks to talk about their trip out here and to I'll tell you what, it's crazy how Pat was telling me when we would Zoom on the weekends, in the background of he's down in his basement. In the background, there's a workshop over there. And so there was some saws and some stuff. And I'm like, oh, you got yourself a little workshop down there. And he said, no, it's not mine. It's Rachel's. And she showed me some of the stuff that she's made. Holy cow. I told her, you're in the wrong line of work. You should be making stuff like this and selling it. She's very talented at woodworking and the stuff that she made. She made chairs, she made tables, she made everything. She's made everything. It's crazy. But no, we had a great time. So hopefully they'll come back soon, and hopefully we'll get to play a little bit more golf. But anyhow, let's take a short break, and then we will get into the PGA news. Hey guys, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you how. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Not only that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other sites. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So obviously, we've had a few tournaments in between the time that we last spoke. And the first one was the Masters tournament, April 8th through the 11th. Obviously, that is an awesome tournament and one of the majors, and everybody's looking forward to playing in that tournament. Hideki Matsuyama is your winner of the Masters. It's crazy, too, the money. He won $2 million for that. $2 million. He's also the first Japanese to win the Masters and a men's major tournament. Xander Schauffele tried to give him a run for the title, but Hideki held on for the win with a one-shot victory. So congrats to Hideki, and hopefully he'll have some more wins coming here shortly. If you sometimes these guys get on a roll and they start winning now. Nothing like the roll that Tiger had back in the 90s. That guy, man, he would win week after week. And I always said, the guys were showing up at those tournaments that Tiger was in, and they knew they were playing for second place. That's kind of a very, and that's why he was so intimidating back in the day. I mean, he was just so intimidating. The guys didn't even really, truly believe they had a chance to win. But obviously, they're going to try to play to win. They're not just going to roll over and not try their best to win the tournament. But Tiger was too tough back then. The next tournament was the RBC Heritage Tournament. That was April 15th through the 18th. Stuart Sink, his third RBC victory in that tournament. He won by 4 shots over Emiliano Grillo and Harold Varner III, which Harold, that was his best finish in a tournament. So congrats to Harold and his good play. Congrats to Stuart, who is not a young chick, a young buck anymore. He's getting up there in age, so congrats to him on his victory. He became only the 4th player to win twice in the same PGA Tour season after turning 47. So that's quite an accomplishment, winning at that age on that tour with all those young guns. That's one of the reasons why I don't play with the young guys in our local tournaments here. They're too good, man. Those guys, those kids, those young kids, man, their game is top notch. So then the last tournament this past weekend was the not this past weekend, the week before that was the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. And Ryan Palmer and John Rahm were trying to defend their championship from last year. And they were picked by 2 experts to contend again. But there were also 2 experts that picked Mark Leishman and Cameron Smith to win. And that is who ended up winning, was Mark Leishman and Cameron Smith, the Zurich Classic this past weekend. They got into a playoff with Oosthuizen and Schwartzel, and they won it on the second hole. So congrats to those 2, Cameron Smith. They the experts had 2 of the experts had picked the right guys. And so next up is the Valspar Championship Tournament, April 29th to May 2nd. And in the power rankings, that's kind of a surprise to me, but sort of, but not really. I mean, the guy's been playing pretty good. They got Corey Connors listed number 1 in the power rankings to win that tournament, followed up by Paul Casey at number 2 and Justin Thomas at number 3. So it'll be interesting. It's always cool to see if the experts pick the right guys or not. So we'll see what happens with those 2 when they if they ended up winning the tournament. Also, here this past, I think it's now been 2 weeks ago, yeah, we had the Lotte tournament here at Kapolei Golf Course. Now, the Lotte, the LPGA, it's an LPGA event. They had, ever since I've known, they've played it at Koolina. And for some reason this year, they moved it to Kapolei. I still haven't found out the real reason or the true reason why they moved it, but they ended up moving it to Kapolei, which is a good course also. It's not a bad course. And the winner of that tournament was Lydia Ko, shot 28 under, and she ended up winning by 7 shots over 3 other players. I mean, 28 under. Now, I heard the last day that they shortened the course up because they wanted some of the girls that were kind of in contention of catching Lydia to hopefully they would have a good day and make it more of a tournament, put some more pressure on her to win. But no, Lydia was just too good. Matter of fact, she ended up winning. This is what not drives me crazy, but this is just what is unbelievable to me. So she only won $300,000 for that win. And yes, it's not the Masters, $2 million won by Hideki Matsuyama, but there's such a disparity between the men and women's golf as far as prize money goes. Now, I know that goes into sponsors, how many, the tours are different, it's just mind-boggling. You got a girl out there shooting 28 under, and she doesn't even make, I think the average prize winnings for a first place finish on the PGA Tour is like $1 million. I don't think there's any under $1 million. I'll have to research that and check and see if that's true or not. But she only won $300,000. It's just mind-boggling to me. I don't understand how they only win that kind of money when they're playing just as good as golf as PGA guys. Granted, it's shorter. Courses are shorter. Maybe they're set up a little easier. I don't know. But 28 under, that's playing some golf. It's just, I don't know. Maybe somebody can let me know. Maybe somebody can email me. Email me at merceplace808@gmail.com. Let me know what you think about the disparity in the prize winnings for men's and women's golf, the PGA and the LPGA. Korn Ferry Tour. Obviously, I follow my favorite player on that tour, Brent Grant, who I used to play with here in Hawaii. Great guy. And I don't know how he finished. I haven't heard, but he was playing in the Veritex Bank Championship. And so hopefully he played well and ended up winning. But I'll find that out and I'll get back to you guys. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back after this. This podcast is brought to you by Smart Boy Studios, the best studio and artist collective out of Ohio. Smart Boy Studios provides recording, mixing, and mastering services as well as any other audio post-production you need. Smart Boy entertainment artist Corey Gossett is dropping a song every single week this year. Stay up to date by following him on Spotify or Apple Music by searching Corey Gossett, or on Instagram or Twitter under @KidWhoCameBack. Friday, March 26th, JV Tree is dropping his sophomore album, Oakwood Hills, featuring C Money Baby, 10 Tempo, Eamon Jones, D Knight, Corey Gossett, and Joey is Fire. It's the perfect soundtrack to start off the spring. Also on March 26th, Zachary Leon is releasing another short EP of West Coast influence cruising songs, including another feature from C Money Baby. DeCasso also dropped a song recently titled All Right, if you need a pick-me-up today. Head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, and any upcoming events. If you'd like to support Smart Boy Studios and their artists, visit threads.smartboystudios.com to check out their merch. They offer hoodies, hats, shirts, and more. All right, welcome back, everybody. I found out that Brent Grant, he shot -4 and missed the cut in the Veritex tournament. So better luck next time, Brent. Obviously, we're following you and we're proud of what you've been doing so far on the Korn Ferry Tour, and hopefully we get in that you get in that top 25 to get your PGA card. And kind of missed not seeing him here in Hawaii in January for the Sony Open, but anyhow, hopefully he has a better season coming forward. Hey, if you guys have anything you want to talk about or want to ask me, please shoot me a email at murphsplace808@gmail. Did I say that right? murphsplace808@gmail.com. And shoot me some topics what you want to talk about, or if you have any questions about golf. Like I said, I'm having issues with my wrist. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to play. I mean, it was so bad that I couldn't even grip anything. It hurt just to pick anything up with my left hand. And so it's driving me crazy, to be honest with you. I don't know how I'm going to handle not playing golf. It was bad enough when I had my knee replaced and I wasn't able to play all those months, which was only like 2.5, 3 months. But I'm going to give my hand a rest for a month at least and let this thing completely heal up, because I don't want to have this issue anymore. And it's pretty painful. But anyhow, I am going to get out of here. If you guys are playing golf somewhere and it's not too cold, the weather's breaking. It's actually starting to get a little nice. Although my brother shot me a picture of Ohio, and he said this crap sucks. And the picture was of his yard with snow in it. So I said, yeah, it sucks to be you. And then I sent him a picture of one of the holes on Coalina, and I said, yeah, this crap sucks too. And he didn't respond back, so he must not have been happy with that. But anyhow, if you guys are playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them often. All right, aloha everyone. Have a great week. See you next week.